You'd think that deer would have settled their capital in a beautiful prairie where they could graze free and indulge in hedonism. That the whole world looked something like the village Adar wouldn't shut up about. But no. A massive lack of foresight, coupled with arcane stubbornness and the insistence of their king, led to heirloom growing in the middle of a steppe, between the enormous lake Tsihal and the Alar Sea. With barely any space for bush pens in the proximities, infertile fields and a million souls to feed, food was neither cheap nor readily available in the capital, hogged by those that needed it the least. Social inequality. There you go. Okay. Anyway, point is that Adar was a poor starving deer and Eina wasn't willing to put up with this anymore. What do we do? Do we find a cure or getting better food? Both choices are incredibly dumb for a variety of reasons.
Yes, they're both dumb, that's the problem.
Which one is the funnier?
I actually don't know which would sound funnier, to be honest. What do you think would sound funnier?
Well, I tried find a cure the last time. I want to see what happens with this one.
Okay, let's get better food then.
Adar had been working incredibly hard all year long. Maybe all he needed was some sort of encouragement. And what better encouragement than, well, the one he'd asked for. But finding food in the city was absolutely out of the question. The moment it arrived, it was counted and measured, and Eina had calculated precisely how many potatoes she could acquire from each merchant before Illegrab began glaring at her. Extortion. She'd have to make a little trip.
Uh-oh.
Eina mentally went over the list of her favorite weapons as she trudged through the narrow alleys that composed the inner slums. The slender slums, if you will, not because she was afraid, but because she was rather bored. The sun had just disappeared as Eina arrived at the gate of Kurbasui, the northernmost entrance to Heirloom, and she soon left the walls behind. Wow. We are really going on a journey. I was not expecting this.
No, I wasn't either.
The grays, yellows and whites of the city and the browns of the outer slums turned to a deep orange, interrupted only by the occasional shrubs sleeping in burrows and crevices. The stars, stone high above, oh hi Eina, watched by the washed-out orange mien of the moon that illuminated even the darkest night. It felt like the Equine steppe was as monochrome as Eina herself was. Such poetry, guys! The sound of distant laughter pulled Eina out of her thoughts. She crouched down and hid behind a rock, examining the distance.
Oh, we have a party going on.
A congregation of merchants was sitting on straw mats with a bonfire. Their fur went from light brown to pitch black, and their bodies were thin, with bigger palmed horns, fallow deer from the north. This music, man! They're huge grave pines? I know about grapevines. Not... Well, I guess I heard it through the grave pines. The biggest tree of burden one could find in Akazor slept behind them, basking in the firelight as they breathed the puffs of fresh air and warmed their lips. Their wares were unloaded around the bonfire. Carrots, apples, pears, salt rock, honey. Whoa!
Whoa!
Okay. I was not expecting an ambush of shadow people.
No, I wasn't either.
Eina stepped out from behind a rock, walking decisively towards the group. The merchants all turned towards her, jumping to their feet immediately. Ah, her fame precedes her, I see.
Yeah.
Eina held onto her hammer, letting its handle bounce on her left hand. They all knew what came next.
Oh dear.
Oh, Ram! One of them raised a hand, stopping Eina in her tracks. She walked closer to the fire, revealing a face Eina was most unused to, and horns that would have exterminated whatever remained of other self-esteem. Yes, pretty much.
Ibex woman.
Well, it's all you, Devar.
Tasaka, Imat is strange hour for a boy of walk step. More strange of walk with big hammer. Build house, need help?
She's a Dragon Quest builder cosplayer, can't you tell?
I could see that.
Eina stood in the spot, clinging to her hammer. The brutish, almost savage-looking woman had a reassuring look on her face. Also, who are you to judge, really? The merchants looked at each other and then at the woman, speaking in a language that Eina failed to recognize, but that sounded very close to speaking Bazaktet with a hot potato in one's mouth. One hurriedly uttered the word robbery, another whispered the word golem, ambush, danger. The strange woman just shook her head.
It's cold, boy. It's fire or tea you want? We help. Food is of we. Fire is of sun. Tea is of friend. Sit with we is welcome. Weapon not.
Sit with we you will? Eina stepped a bit closer to the fire. Revealing herself, she let her hammer fall by her side quite dramatically and stood proudly in front of them. The merchants nearly fell back at the sight of her teeth. Even the woman gulped audibly.
Is strange girl, boy. I is sorry. I not know. Angry at someone? Angry at I? Please, no. Basetapfe.
Close enough. Fall of bed, assumed Eina, switching back to her native tongue even though it only sounded somewhat similar and made no sense whatsoever. Eina cast a long glance over the group, just a bunch of deer and some kind of overgrown gazelle, asking nicely to be left alone. They weren't worth her time. She's not a very social individual.
No.
Eina picked up her hammer and made to leave.
He rub guard your path home, stranger.
Hirub, what a joke! Well, that was a scene, wasn't it?
That was something.
A marine breeze blew over the streets of Heirloom the next day, sweeping away some of the hot steppe dust that suffocated the city. Akazor was 2 moons well into dawn soon already, and it was coming to an end little by little. Hey!
Hey!
Hey! Hey! It was lunchtime, and Eina couldn't stop thinking about the previous night. She still couldn't understand why she couldn't bring herself to merely grab their wares and leave as usual. Maybe they weren't good enough and that was her merchant instinct talking. Yeah, no.
She doesn't know things, does she?
No, she has... well, a strong opinion about people. Yes, let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
For some reason, she could only think of Adder chiding her and giving her a disappointed look. So, if he didn't want the usual, that was totally his fault. Anyway, more potatoes! Yes! Carrying a small mountain of uncooked, misshapen potatoes, dried seaweed and several bulbous roots, Eina made her way through the corridors of her home in search of her apprentice. A cloud or two could be seen in the big blue sky, white and puffy, off to conduct whatever business a cloud could have so close to her home. The once great Temple of Hirub, the abandoned residence of a god that left in a tantrum after the Baran rebellion. That sounds about right. Not the most elegant farewell, but her father always said that gods need no manners, and that old geezer clearly knew all about that.
Because he was one of them?
The lack of manners, I mean. He knew a thing or two about gods as well, but he much preferred to spend his time cursing them for his longevity. Oh, there he went with his usual friends. Burn the Sephi! This time we'll get him for good!
Wow.
His friends. Eina, second-class daughter of a hero praying beast! Quit whiffle waffling and do something about this! I know you're somewhere around here! You fusty lags! Eina!
Oh no, he's casting some kind of spell! Hurry up!
Eina just stared idly at the mob carrying her father away, off to a pyre that would forever magically fail to end the poor man's life. A question resurfaced in Eina's mind. So yes, he's immortal, by the way.
I like how she just kind of acting like, yep, I didn't see that. Nope.
It was others, pondering aloud whether Eina's father was hated a little more or a little less for purchasing and desecrating the temple of a god that most people despised anyway. She took a moment to consider this as she walked into the sunlight. Sacrilege is kind of a global standard, I suppose, is what she thought. Anyway, more of this. Sigh. Cue Other moping all by himself in the courtyard. And she just threw the potatoes. Okay, that was nice. Eina tensed up her shoulders and stretched out the footplate, attempting to pass the dish as something casual that she didn't go out of her way and spend her personal earnings to buy. No siree.
Nope.
Once more, instead of happily proceeding to choke on his payment for helping out in the forge, Other took a long, empty look at the food. He sighed and looked away.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, boss. I'm not angry. So this is character development in a very subtle way. She didn't steal the potatoes this time.
Yeah, she bought them.
Progress!
Yay!
The problem is they are still raw, misshapen potatoes. So he'd said time and time again during the last few moons But Other had always ended up giving up and eating. Less and less every time, however. Eina waited patiently to no avail. Once she got tired of that, she shook a carrot in front of his face, hoping to stir his curiosity with this new, shocking ingredient!
A single carrot? That changes everything!
Wow, that's definitely a game changer. We can almost make a minestrone now! No answer.
Are you serious?
So there she was, shaking a rattle in front of a giant one-eyed baby that refused to eat. Seeing that diplomacy didn't work, she poked his snout with said carrot.
I hope not up his nostril.
Ahem! Notice me, senpai, already? She poked and till it ended up in his nose.
His nose!
Ouch.
Why the nose?
Ouch. So, you happy now?
Yes, she most likely is.
Eina's total desperation was purposely ignored by Other, so a poor carrot was snapped in two for his sins. It was at this point that Eina realized she didn't much care about why he wasn't eating. All she knew was that Deer had to eat, and he hadn't done so in a while. With all the delicacy her hands could muster, she opened his jaw and smashed a raw potato right into his mouth.
Oh my god. She's trying to kill this man.
But something was wrong. He didn't overreact. He didn't attempt to talk his potato-in-mouth dialect. He just grabbed the tuber and handed it back to Eina.
Tuber, that's a way to call a potato.
If you like them taters so much, why don't you eat them?
Grrr.
Now you're growling at me? What's your deal? What's your deal? What's your deal? Her deal? But he was the one acting strange. She was just trying to help, and he still hadn't eaten a single thing. I don't want your darn potatoes, Eina. Just leave me alone. There, it had to be said. Eina hesitated for a moment longer, and her fists would have given quite a speech. There she goes. She turned around and angrily stormed off. Did it teach her to think about anyone other than herself?
That doesn't help matters.
Eina marched towards one of her usual hideouts, atop the round-down temple walls, away from Other's sight. She needn't run that far. He wasn't going to pursue her this time. Alone with one of her potatoes and all of her weapons, Eina began rummaging through her pockets in search of a knife. There was never a lack of those on her person.
She likes her knives.
She brought out one of her trusty daggers and focused all of her attention on cutting the potato into thinner and thinner slices.
Is this going to be the accident of finding out the crisps thing with you?
She corners a market that did not exist. She wasn't wrong, there was just no way she was. She was older and wiser, and Other was just being an idiot by refusing her help. Of course! Duh!
Duh.
And this guy!
Hiding from the mob, little Tess.
God damn it, giant tree man!
The narrator is reacting to it.
Replying to Illigrab wasn't precisely on Eina's list of priorities for the day. Illigrab didn't expect otherwise.
Don't worry, I took care of them. No need to thank me, of course.
Oh yes, her dad was burning alive. It's just another Tuesday.
Your dad smelt of bacon again. It wouldn't kill you, though. Anyway, all that's left is putting out the fire, so, I was hoping Ada could give me a hand there. Where is the lad?
That was another question that didn't deserve an answer. Eina devoted her whole being to gathering all the extra thin potato slices and then launched them into the air, watching them fly around like some tremendously wasteful confetti.
Did you two get in a fight?
And there she goes again. There I'm back again, I see. Eina led Illigrab to the courtyard. There were a peevish adder sat by the fountain. He was rubbing his face as he stared at all the food by his side.
He hasn't come back to his senses yet, huh? Hey, think it's your father's fault. I could leave him a little longer on the pyre to see if he learns his lesson.
Don't you dare, son of a wielded fear! I pay my taxes! I bribe you! Or fine you! I demand service! I demand justice! Get me down on this fire right now!
Don't you dare, son of a wilted fur. Beat face.
I heard that, Curtis! I'll make a wardrobe out of you!
I mean, he is kind of built like a wardrobe.
Bless your ears, Red.
Eina shook her head, frustrated. The merchant hadn't said anything meaner than usual, and even if he had, Ada and Eina formed an unbreakable team. Nothing could harm them when they were together. They looked in Ada's direction once more. He's drowning in the fountain. He's somersaulting. I won't pretend I've ever understood how others' mind works. Allez, hop.
I mean, I'm trying to.
Allez, hop.
You two worrywart were made for each other.
Eina's face turned red immediately. The legendarily morose Smith would rather admit to any criminal charges against her than let on that she was actually concerned about anyone's well-being. She has a reputation and whatnot. Illigrab smiled and stepped forward before she had a chance to protest, however.
Let me handle this.
Let me just move slightly to the left. There we are.
Addison, son of Gerthas of the upper field, you're under arrest.
For breaking a woman's heart. Oh, 3, I'm sorry, I knew that it was gonna, there's nothing I could just go tell him up and they'll kill me!
For wearing a precious little bean like,
Well, now that he confessed, I guess, something else.
Eina, sweetie, give us a minute, will you?